Hello, friends. Okay, so I posted that it was the anniversary of the 4-year anniversary of me getting my first colonoscopy. And I, if you don't know this about me, this was back in September of 2019. And from that first colonoscopy, there was cancer, colon cancer that was determined. They found a tumor inside my colon, and then that led to me having about 9 inches of my colon removed surgically on another day. And then after that, then I ended up doing chemotherapy for 6 months. So this was the better part of a year end to end. And since then, I continued to monitor my colon cancer with CAT scans, additional colonoscopies, blood work, have oncologists that I meet with. And all in all, though, I'm feeling good. I'm very grateful that it was found and that I was able to deal with it. And so, because some people don't get colonoscopies and then stuff goes for a really long time. And then they get to that point where it's like the cancer has spread and it's really, really hard for the doctors to do what they need to do. So that's why I continue to talk about this, because I was 45 years old when I had my first colonoscopy back then. So now I'm 49, but back then, the normal age was 50 to get your first colonoscopy. So if I had waited, it would still be in another year from now, and the cancer would have been growing and would have probably metastasized and spread to other areas. And so that's why I encourage people, to get their colonoscopy sooner. I didn't have any history of colon cancer. The reason why I got the colonoscopy done in the first place was because I had hemorrhoids. Just talking about butt stuff. Come on, you guys. Once you get to this point, like, it doesn't freaking matter. It's your life is on the line, right? But I had hemorrhoids, and I was having blood in my stool. And I just really, the spirit impressed upon me, just talk to the doctor, let them know what's going on. And this is like a colorectal doctor, right? They talk about butt stuff all the time. I was the one that was embarrassed. They could care less, right? And they know the stuff. So I'm just really grateful that I followed through on that prompting to actually just open my mouth and talk about it. And so, of course, hindsight, I wish I had done it sooner, because probably could have taken care of it a lot sooner, even before I was 45 years old. But I didn't, but I did get it done. And so I'm just here. I would just want to demystify all of this ridiculous cultural crap around going and having a colonoscopy. No pun intended, using the word crap. But here's the deal, you guys. Because I posted that, I'm getting some questions from people. And so one of the questions that came to me is, let me make sure I'm saying it specifically here, was this. This is coming from somebody who's going in for their first colonoscopy. And he said, do you have any tips before I go in tomorrow that you wish somebody would have told you before you went to have your first colonoscopy done? So here are the tips that I have. And so first of all, I'm glad that you're getting it done. Really, really glad. This is awesome. And so when I think about going through anything that's new, the reality is that the medical professionals, they know what they're doing. They've been through this with a lot of people. They have all the answers. They're going to be able to take care of all this stuff. As the patient, especially the first time getting colonoscopy patient, you don't know all this stuff, right? You normally aren't having somebody poking something up your butt, right? You're not normally in a situation where you're going to have this feeling of being very vulnerable around perhaps a part of their bodies, like with their rears or so. It's like so taboo, right? Anyhow. And yet all of us are over here like going poop every day, and it's like, oh, we can't talk about it. Anyhow, I'm not going to get into that tangent, but what I'm saying is that as somebody who's preparing, just remember the professionals, they know what they're doing. Trust that they know what's going on. And because they're professionals and because they do this all the time, it becomes rote for them. It becomes commonplace, and they're not the one who's been cleaning out their colon for 2 days, drinking all the drinks and, pooping their, all the stuff out. But they're doing this stuff, so from like a medical procedure, they just are used to doing it. There's also an element of Even Chad, my husband, is a nurse. He's like, it's, hospitals, clinics. He's like, it's a business. He's like, it's a business. So they're going to get you in, they're going to get you out, they're going to move you on. Like they're going to be very, very efficient. So they'll be nice. Don't expect a whole lot of compassion. Do not expect a lot of care and love and concern from those people. Therefore, in preparation for the colonoscopy, I highly encourage you to have your support network in place. And you might be thinking, well, duh, I got my spouse, I got my kids. Yes. Okay. However, if it's your first time getting a colonoscopy, you're going through emotions. You are feeling things that you probably have never felt before. And I'm not talking about that urge to go poop really fast and hard and you got to get to the bathroom now. I'm talking about feelings of anxiety, emotional overwhelm, maybe regret because depending on when you're getting it done and maybe you felt prompted to get it done sooner, maybe some grief around like, oh, this is heavy and this is hard and I'm nervous about this, right? There's a million different emotions that anybody could be experiencing. So in preparation, have your support network in place. If you have small kids at home, like when I got it done, Sarah was little. She was like 4 years old. And no, 3, 4, anyhow, she was little, about 4 years old. And I was really grateful looking back on it that we had somebody who was helping to watch her. So if you have kids that you need to get home from school, get kids to soccer practice, follow up with homework, if there's anything just anything related to the kids, get somebody else to take care of it. And if you're married and your spouse is like, oh, no. You need your spouse. You're going to need somebody who's going to just focus on you and not have a little baby in tow. Now, it's different if they're like on the breast, right? And it's like, that's a little bit different. But also babies like that, their needs are like immediate, like put them to bed, change their diaper, get them food, right? That's easy. It's very different from juggling a busy toddler or dealing with a teenager or whatever it is. That is a completely different set of having to be emotionally available to support that child. Get the help. Okay. And if you live in a place where like, we don't have any family that we can rely on, who are your best friends, right? Who are people maybe from church or your community or something, right? Get the help, figure out whatever that is. Okay. And then I wrote down my notes because I didn't want to forget anything. Let's see here, because you need that emotional support. And then also I just want to make sure I'm taking care of these things. Okay. The other part too that you can do to prepare is make sure you're doing any of your spiritual preparation. For me, I'm a type of person, when I get up in the morning, I love to read scriptures and just quietly talk with God about stuff. And so on a day like when you're doing your colonoscopy, don't forget your spiritual stuff. Whatever's in your normal spiritual toolbox, do the things, right? So do that. And you might be saying like, oh, but I normally would get up at 7 a.m. and I would do the, reading my scriptures, but I can't because I got to drive to the doctor. Okay. This is the time to suspend the yeah, buts. Okay. This is the time to say, yeah, but this and how about stop. You know where that's coming from? That's coming from Satan, who's making you think you aren't worthy of stopping and connecting with your spiritual power, right? So do what you need to do for yourself to make sure you're spiritually grounded, because you're about ready to step into something. It's really uncomfortable. It's very new. It's very different. You don't know what to expect. Anything else, right? Like let's say it was a kid going for the first time to take their driver's license test. Same thing. Don't know what they're doing. Not sure what to expect. A lot of questions. Really nervous about it. Well, what would you tell your child? Pray. Slow down. Get connected with God. Be calm, right? Same thing for you. Just be calm. Whatever you need to do for your spiritual, to be ready in that moment, do that, right? Just make that available for yourself. Turn off the news. right? Trust me, by the time you get to the doctor's office, and I hate how they all have the stupid televisions on. It's like, I don't need this noise and energy. Ugh! Right? So just turn off the news. You don't need any of that. What you need is calm and peace and focusing on your own self. That's what you need. Okay? You don't need to hear about some random earthquake or a car wreck, or like, it doesn't matter right this second. What matters is that you're going to have the inside of your colon inspected by professionals and know what they're doing. That's what you're doing right now. Later, another day, sure, catch up on the news. You're going to hear about it anyhow. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, so all of your spiritual prep. Also, when you're going to the appointment itself, you're going to be in a waiting room, and then they'll take you back, and then you'll get undressed, and you're going to put on one of those, like, it's like, I think they call them like a drape or something, but it's where it's like open on the backside. And so very typical, kind of what you would expect at a hospital. And so I found that when I get nervous, I get kind of cold and I start getting jittery and stuff, and I kind of shake. So you're gonna be undressing. So if they offer you socks, thick socks, put them on. So a lot of times they have like these thick hospital-y socks that have like the rubber grippers on the bottom. Put them on, okay? So when I did it, it was a really hot day. I mean, it was the first part of September. It was still technically like summery time. And so, but inside of these hospitals, they keep it so frigid. You know, they're keeping it like 60, 62 degrees or something like that. So keep yourself warm. If they have those heated blankets, ask for them. It'll just help to calm you down, okay, and keep you warm. And then just don't bring a bunch of stuff with you, because when you get there, you're going to put your stuff in a little closet, and they're going to put it in there and then lock it up and stuff, because they're not like a closed door hospital room. You're gonna leave your stuff in a room that then you're going to be on a gurney. They're gonna wheel you into the room to actually have a colonoscopy, and then you're gonna wake up back in that room where you've taken your clothes off, and you're gonna be under blankets and stuff. And so it'll be just like this really nice, like you're coming out of like a really great nap, and you're really like, whoa, okay, where am I at? Like it's like it goes so fast. Because you will have been asleep, okay? And so anyhow, coming back to the room, don't bring a bunch of stuff with you, because I don't want you to have to worry about thinking and remembering, like, oh, I had my tablet, and I brought my coloring book, and I brought my book that I was reading, and I brought this magazine, and I brought my laptop. Like, don't. Just stop. Just the same thing with the news. Stop. Like, there's no reason. Just don't do it. Okay, just be there, be focused. Of course, bring your wallet. You have to show your ID. Have your cell phone, right? It might be helpful to have your earbuds so you can just quietly listen to music instead of being bombarded by all the crappy news, right? News from the TV, okay? But then you can just set that little bit of stuff aside, and then when you go to take it, you know there's just a couple little things you're taking with you. All right. Now, for a lot of women, we have a purse. We can just tuck that stuff in there, right? But just don't bring a bunch of stuff with you. You don't need to have one more thing to be thinking about. Okay. Just don't, because you're not going to be waiting that long. And a lot of times they'll have like magazines and stuff if you need to just sit there while you're waiting for a few minutes for your name, for you to go called back. But again, they are efficient. They get more money by moving a lot of people through. They're not going to leave you sitting around for a long time unless something major has happened, right? And the medical professionals are dealing things, but they're going to move you through. That's what they do. And I feel like I'm being really insensitive about it, but let's be unapologetic about the fact that that's what they do. Like any other business, right? You go to the gas station, they think they're going to sit there and hang out with you all day. No, get in, get the gas, move right along, right? It's just business. Let's keep moving. It's a transactional thing. Just don't bring a bunch of crap with you to hang out with, okay? Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I kind of talked about this a little bit, but I just want to circle back to it for a moment, which is go easy on yourself, because this is new and uncomfortable. So a lot of times people are like, I'm just going to grit my teeth and I'm going to get through the thing, and I'm just going to, like, I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. You know what? Let's exercise a little bit of self-compassion. Okay? Let's exercise a little bit of this is making me, my soul, my heart, I'm stressed. And your brain is also going, wait, this could potentially find something inside of my colon, right? Like you're good. So just go easy on yourself, okay? Therefore, also afterwards, my advice is plan to relax afterwards. Don't be like, oh yeah, we can, whatever, we got the kids going to this recital, whatever. You know what? If you have to do the colonoscopy on the same day as a recital, sorry, child, I'm not going to be at the recital. Okay, but if it's that kind of a medical emergency and you have to do the colonoscopy, your kid's going to be aware of, like, they're going to know what's up. Okay, but likely you don't have to do that. Right? You can schedule it. Okay, you're going to have some flexibility with the schedule. And so if you know that there's some kind of recital that night, or even if it's like the night before the colonoscopy, you're not leaving the house, you guys, because you're drinking all the stuff that's purging all of the stuff out of, getting all the poop out of you. Okay? So just around those couple of days, just take it easy, relax. And don't feel like it's a bad thing. We're in such a go, got to do all the things society. Maybe for those few days, it's okay just to chill out a little bit. All right? It's okay. It's fine. Let's not just be in this constant on mode, right? And then the other thing, in addition to afterwards, you're going to be hungry because you just spent 2 days basically drinking this Miralax Gatorade stuff. And you're going to be hungry. So I remember Chad's like, well, what do you want? And I remember my doctor telling me, just eat something really mild. Like, don't go eat like a big steak or something. And I was really hungry for comfort food. And for me that day, it was mashed potatoes with butter. And I wanted the instant mashed potato. Chad would have done anything for me. He's like, instant mashed potatoes with butter. Okay. And I'm like, and not just like a little bit, like I want a lot of butter, like a couple of tablespoons of butter. He's like, oh, I'm like, no judgment. I'm like, this sounds really good to me. And I remember savoring it and it just felt really smooth and easy. And I just chilled out about the whole thing. I was like, okay. And so plan to eat something yummy that you want. And so, and then after that, like, I think I ate again, like about 2 hours later, because you're kind of still feeling a little gurgly and tired. But that's the other thing too, is that afterwards, plan to be tired. Again, don't be planning to be out there like mowing the lawn or helping a neighbor with something. Like, no, just this is time to take care of yourself. You can, all those other days, you can take care of other people. All right. It's totally okay. But just eat something. Eat something that you really love is what I wrote down. Okay. And then the couple of other thoughts. So first of all, if you had a toothache, right, and it's just like on fire and you can feel it electrical, just, right, you wouldn't just put up with it. You would go to the dentist, right? You get it taken care of. So a lot of times our stuff with our colons, we don't feel it like that. You don't. And so, like, even though I had blood in my stool, I wasn't feeling like this really sharp, bad pain. I felt what I refer to as a crunchy stomach. Like, my stomach often felt like just kind of uncomfortable a little bit. I kind of sometimes felt bloated, but I was like, whatever. Like, I can go eat too much popcorn and I'll feel bloated too. And so I didn't realize. It wasn't until I had the hemorrhoids and the doctor was like, okay, there's some stuff to look at here. So just know that getting your colonoscopy earlier, well, again, at first it might feel counterintuitive to be like, yay, I'm going to go have somebody stick a tube up my butt. It's not that. This is something that I need to do for me. This is important. And it's such an easy organ to get inside of. It's amazing, right? There's a hole. Like, poke right out. I mean, it's fine, right? And you're not gonna have like issues or anything with your butt afterwards. There's not gonna be issues because they put like that jelly stuff, like the KY jelly or whatever it is, and they, so it slides right in, not a problem. And again, they have their doctors, their nurses, everybody. It's very, very organized. And they don't want to hurt you, right? That's not their goal. They're not there to make your life difficult. They want to make it so it's nice and easy. So Just plan to do that. And then know that most people, in fact, I meant to look up the statistic, but like the vast majority of people who get colonoscopies don't have any problems. There's nothing. There's no issues at all. It's just like a routine checkup. Okay? There's nothing to worry about. But for the few people who do find it and they know about it, they realize that ignorance is not bliss. And that, my friends, is part of my whole desire to demystify this colonoscopy thing. Ignorance is not bliss at all. Don't be in a situation where you feel like, well, I'll just kind of keep my head in the sand and I'm not going to deal with it. Not good. Not good. Okay? Just step into the space of taking care, and especially something that's so easy to deal with. Like heart's way complicated to look inside of them. Lungs, super challenging. Like bones, all these like other body parts are really, really, really hard to actually have doctors like get inside of it and look in them, right? Without like major surgeries. This one, you've got your rectum, friends. And they're gonna stick a tube in there and it's gonna be fine. And you're gonna just be laying on your side, okay? And so just remember that, okay? It's actually really not that difficult. I think what we make it more difficult to be is all of the prep, all the stuff afterwards, like, I don't know what this is and what could come from it, right? But if we know that, and then you can just chill out and just be present in the moment, I think it'll make a big difference. So if you have any questions, anybody want to know anything else about colonoscopy or anything, as you can tell, I'm willing to talk about the butt, right? We're saving the booties here. Please let me know. Happy to demystify this whole thing. So I wish I'd done mine sooner and paid attention to the fact that I had that blood in my stool sooner. But I didn't, but I got taken care of. And I'm grateful to be here today to help you so that you also can do what you need to do for yourself, because you are worth it. You are worth the effort to take care of yourselves. God bless. I love you. And go get the colonoscopy. See ya.